The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
There ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Oh yeah, hump day, hump day, hump day. Here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Welcome into the show, man. Welcome into a Wednesday edition. I am your host, Big Mike, being heard right now live on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, for all your mobile devices. Also on TuneIn, if you got that situation going on. You can also check me out live on the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. I think my Facebook live stream is pumping right now. I'm not sure. It was working a few seconds ago. So if you guys want to head on over to my Facebook page, the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE, you can check it out. Also, make sure you like the page while you're there. Use that same handle for all my social media, my Twitter and my Instagram as well. If you want to be a part of the show, it's quite easy. Just send me a text, 404-902-8104, with your thoughts, comments, questions, critiques, all those things. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. If you're listening via Spreaker, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on that. A couple steps later, you'll be in the live interactive chat room where you guys can holler at me, holler at other folks in the chat room, whatnot. You can leave your comments below the live streaming video if it's working. Still not sure if it is, but I guess during one of the breaks, or if I have time while I'm talking, I'll check it out. Also, don't forget the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League is on and popping. So if you want to play some fantasy football with your man, holler at me. Send me a text message, or no, excuse me, not a text message. Send me an email to Mike, MIKE, at One Mic with Big Mike, the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line, and I'll just shoot you over all the whatever it is, the link and the password or whatever to get into the league. It's quite simple. Also, make sure you guys shoot me, or not also, but you can also do the same thing via my my website. If you go to the contact page, you can send the email from there as well. That might be a little bit easier for people. It looks as though the Facebook live stream is a little frozen here. I don't know, man. I've been trying for 2 weeks to get this thing working and getting it right and whatnot, but for whatever reason, it doesn't want to participate. It doesn't want to work. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me on the stream or what. If you just can't, catch the situation with the video's not moving, or you can just hear me. I'm not sure, but we're gonna let it ride for the day, man. We're gonna see what it do. We're gonna let it do what it do. All right, so don't forget, bottom of the hour. Every day during the One Mic with Big Mike, or every episode of the One Mic with Big Mike show, I take a look back into the history of sports. I do a little thing I call On This Day, and I'll do it again today, where I give you guys some historical tidbits, factoids, or whatnot on the goings on of what's popping, has been popping in the world of sports on this particular day in history. So let's get it popping, man. Let's get started. I wanted to start again. It just seems like this thing won't let me live, man. Won't let me be. Yesterday, one of the most awesome, epic things that I've personally ever seen in life happened. Your man, Agent Orange, the supposed, as LeBron James said, the so-called president of this country, just had a meltdown of epic proportion when it came to the situation in Charlotte, man. And everything that happened subsequent to that was even, like, it might have even been funnier. You know what I mean? Like the reaction to it. Dude, I saw Van Jones on TV crying and talking about how people is using up all their Kleenex. And I'm like, I know he ain't talking about black folks. Or maybe he is. Maybe some of you guys can help me out. If you were some of the ones that were crying like Van Jones was after what you heard Comrade Trump say yesterday while he was supposed to be talking about infrastructure. Like after you heard my man tell us how the Nazis and the KKK were victims in the Charlottesville protests, after you heard my man tell us how not all those people were racist. There was a bunch of good people out there too, just marching quietly. Like after you heard all that, like it brought tears in my eyes, but it was tears because I was crying. I mean, because I was laughing. I want to know if it brought tears to people's eyes the way it did with Van Jones, because my man was emotional and he was literally crying, wiping his eyes on TV. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like, did Donald Trump like turn into this person like at that moment, or am I wrong for always seeing him like that? I mean, like that dude hadn't surprised me since he won the election. Like, that's the only thing that really surprised me, that he won. Like after that, cause all bets were off, all of them, cause like everything that's I'm on record as saying like the world's gonna already end in 2017 anyway. Like he is gonna end the world on some just real stupid ratchetness anyway. So this, come on, man. He got all these folks up in the White House, all these Breitbart people, all these racist ass people in the White House. People who, by the way, let me tell you, let me say this, let me reiterate something that I said yesterday. Like, I don't trust none of those MFers. You know what I mean? Between freaking Sessions, Mike Pence, none of those folks up in there. Because if you check their track record, like you ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to sympathize with Nazis and all that kind of stuff. Like once Jeff Sessions, like, I'm going to be harder on mandatory minimum sentences. Oh, you know who that targets? I mean, this is proven at this point. It's not like when Bill Clinton did it. He was trying to be the Mr. Tough on crime guy. This is already statistically proven that whole mandatory minimum thing, yeah, it's right towards us, right towards the Negroes and the Browns. You know what I mean? So he can come out and say, well, there's no room for hate and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, get out of here, man. While you all about privatizing prisons and all this kind of stuff, incentivizing people to lock folks up. Come on, man. Only thing they really mad about is because Trump blew up the spot. Like all they were sitting there thinking was like, my man, you got to calm down, B. You know what I mean? You letting the cat out the bag. Now you going to put us in a bad spot, but we got to act like it ain't what it is. You ain't fooling me, B. I already know. I know all these cats are in the same group. They all feel the same way. They just don't want it publicized and bragged about the way this damn idiot did. So as far as like, you know, the statues and all that, you know what I love too? What was so awesome? The position he put some of these cats in, black people too, like a lot of these black folks, Michael Eric Dyson, what's that girl's name? Simone, whatever her name is, the chick with the real low haircut. She's like this girl I went to high school with named Monique, as a matter of fact, with the real full lips. Like he put these people in some real crazy positions. And I mean that by saying when he was like, well, what about Thomas Jefferson? Well, what about George Washington? And then I had to listen to the black folks say, well, those people are different. The hell you say? Like this is the one time you're going to hear me be like, yeah, I'm kind of with Trump on this one. Let's go ahead and take care of all of it. Like if we going to do it, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if we gonna start wiping racists, let's go ahead and wipe them. Cause George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all these damn slave running ass folks, let's run it. Cause I don't see no damn difference. I don't like. Okay, I ain't gonna say I don't see no difference because that's gonna make me sound ignorant. I see the difference in one dude being treasonous and trying to secede from the country and split the country apart. But I don't see the difference when you fundamentally believe that it's okay and it's your God-given right to own another human. And in this case, humans that look like me. Nah, I'm good. So if we gonna run it, let's go. My folks on Facebook yesterday was talking about this situation at Stone Mountain, which, by the way, I don't know if people know this, like nationwide here in Atlanta or the suburbs of Atlanta. There's a big, like, what is it called? Mural. And that mural is of the reuniting of the Klan. There when the Klan was I guess what is it called? When it was broken apart by the government for being like a criminal organization, they found loopholes, the way white people have done throughout history, to maintain their racism. And one of the places that they regathered was at Stone Mountain, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right here little couple minutes away from where I'm from, and there is a big mural like in the mountain, in the side of this granite, and folks is like, yeah, while we here, let's go ahead and wipe that out too. Let's go ahead and sandblast that joint as well. And I don't have no objections with anything racist being gone. I mean, like it don't hurt my feelings. You feel me? That it's there. But I mean, if we gonna get rid of them, it damn sure ain't gonna hurt my feelings for it to leave. So I know that there's certain black people that still want to play that patriotic role. Not me. I've said it before on this show many a times. I know this country don't love me. So what the hell I look like talking about I love it? I just stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who looked like me a few hundred years ago was made to come, and there just was no ride back. So we just had to stay. You know what I'm saying? And throughout history, black people have found a way to make the best of the situation that's been presented to us. People have fought, people have marched, people have died, people have been jailed, all these things. And when you take a up close and good look at this country, which is all that's happening right now, like people are being forced to take a good up close and pertinent look at this country when they before probably didn't want to, because there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that you're shocked and appalled by this privileged ass white man seemingly not understanding the difference between other white boys who's running around talking about hell Hitler and Jews won't replace us and white lives matter and talking about blood and soil and talking about the N-word and all this kind of stuff. There's no way you can tell me that dude, especially that dude, sympathizing with those people is something that's got you shook to your core. Nah, dude, I sat here and I laughed my ass off watching that press conference in real time. I was like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, I'm waiting on Ashton Kutcher to like come out the back or something and tell everybody they've been punked, because it was just that awesome. I'm looking like at one point they kind of showed the what are they called, the cabinet members who didn't expect any of this to happen, like the shame on their faces. And then my man did the illest, most awesome thing ever in history. When he reached into his pocket and he was like, yeah, man, that speech I gave on Saturday was fire. It was the damn bomb. You know how I know? I got it right here with me. He pulled that bitch out of his pocket. Like, yes. Oh, man, when it comes to just pure, unadulterated, just ignorance and stupidity, this dude is at the pinnacle. He's at the top of his game. He's like the Babe Ruth of stupidity, man. And I can only find humor in it at this point, because he didn't make him. Like, my thought on it goes just like this. I can't blame a dog for barking. That's what dogs do. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame him for being racist or being stupid. You know who I can blame? The people who continue to say, oh, Donald Trump's not a racist. Oh, Donald Trump, when he wins, he's going to be hella presidential. Oh, he's going to get it together. He's going to lead. All these things, all these attributes that this man has never, ever, ever shown the propensity to have. All these dumbass people running around here talking about, I wish, I hope. Keep your hope, man, and stuff and shove it up your ass, man. That stuff don't work. You know what I mean? The best evidence of future behavior is past behavior. And this dude's past behavior has always been in the toilet, man. So now, oh, we got a problem. I'm the CEO of Walmart. I got to run away. I'm the CEO of this and that. I gotta disassociate myself with this dude. Man, miss me with that craziness. Miss me with all the foolishness, dude. When this man was talking stuff about Mexicans, and this dude was talking stuff about women, Muslims, ain't nobody care. Y'all voted this dude into the White House. Y'all voted this dude into the White House after my man Barack Obama. Like, you know how high that bar should have been set for the next person? Yeah, y'all was like, you know what? F this bar. Broke it and burnt it. and then let this orange bastard in there. And now it's time to be mad and wonder how he's going to recover from this. I don't give a damn. It's going to be bad for the country. Man, you don't think these folks everywhere else in the world just been laughing at this clown ass dude for the whole time he been in there, bragging about stuff he ain't have nothing to do with, lying about stuff that never happened. My man said the other day, yeah, I got a beautiful letter from the lady from the girl who died in the I don't call it the terrorist attack on Saturday. And it was just a beautiful letter. She was so kind to me and everything. Kind of find out he hadn't even called this woman at all. He ain't called this woman. He ain't called the mayor of Charlottesville. He ain't talked to nobody to lend any type of support. He's not gonna go there. The one thing he did do with his jerk ass. Oh yeah, man, I got a winery in Charlottesville, one of the best in the country. That's him right there. The man who you put in the position in which he's supposed to be, probably the most selfless person on the planet, because he controls, like, he's the guy who controls the nukes and all these things. So he needs to be very selfless and very much thinking about the welfare of other people. He only thinks about himself. And that was cool with y'all. All y'all folks who call yourself Trump supporters, and you know what else you can miss me with? Well, just because I'm a Trump supporter doesn't mean I'm a racist. I'm going to go ahead and beg to differ on that. You know what I mean? I said it yesterday. I don't get to hang around a bunch of gang members without somebody calling me gang affiliated. So you don't get to support a racist without me telling you that you're racist, cuz. You know what I mean? I don't care what color you are either. Like this clown ass dude named, what is that dude's name that I was laughing at? Paris something? I don't know his last name. Oh boy, they put that dude out. Well, I ain't say they put him out there. He was out. Everybody was just roasting his ass for like the last 2 days. And it was one of the most simple things, the most simplistic, elementary, remedial things, man. Like, just be a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that, whatever you feel like you thought at one point that this man was going to do for you or do for the black community or whatever you thought, right? At some point, man, like the human being, you got to be like, you know what? I was wrong. This dude's a jerk. This dude's a total gaping ass. I can't ride with this. Nah, man, your man was in there both feet. That's my man, 100 grand. Donald Trump did nothing wrong. He's not a racist. I was like, all right, well, maybe you just don't know what a racist is. That's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But again, I have a problem believing any of these people, man. And I said it on Wednesday, and I started hearing last night. I started hearing more and more of the bruhs on these panels on MSNBC and CNN, like, say the stuff that I was saying on Monday. That, look, this is easy. You know, white people, you know, this is easy. This is easy, where you guys can just say, oh, the alt-right is bad, Nazis are bad, and the KKK is bad. Like, yeah, no duh, man. Thanks, Captain Obvious. We know that. You think, what about income inequality? What about piss poor schools in the inner cities? What about mass incarceration? What about just the systematic racism? What about these cops that go home after murdering somebody in front of their woman and their baby on a live stream? Was y'all this animated about those things, or are y'all as animated about those things? If the answer is no, I don't want to hear from you on this. This is a layup, man. You're not getting no pat on the back from this guy, from this black dude, because you tell everybody that you disagree with the Klan. All right. Cool. Whatever. It's the One Mike with Big Mike show, man. Spreaker.com is where I'm going to get in and out tonight, man. I'm not going to be here all night tonight. I'm here, Spreaker. Go ahead and download the Spreaker app. Tell your friends, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm also on TuneIn live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You guys can contact me. Jump on inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. My man, I Am Nodo, is in the building. He's saying, don't say y'all, MFer. What did I say y'all about, dude? I mean, dude, if look, a hit dog or holler now. What did I say y'all about? Was I talking about you? Also, man, you can tweet me, shoot me something on Instagram or Facebook at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. The text number, once again, is 404-902. 8104. Don't text me. I don't have the text thing in here. I'm sorry. Don't text me. I left it. Now that I got the camera halfway working, although it's frozen up now. Golly, man. No, it's like technology, man. It just sucks. Balls, B. It should. Now it's gone. Now it's all the way gone. So I'm going to stop the camera here in a second. Sorry, you guys. I'm sure you guys can still hear the audio, but yeah, I'm not gonna keep this going. All right, back to what I was saying. So now we have a situation where these Trump supporters, they don't know where to go. Some of them don't know where to go. You know, the white ones, I see them on TV all day today, and they kind of stuck because this is their monster. This is the monster that they created. They would have rather have this imbecile in the White House, right, than have a woman with plenty of experience. Did two terms as the first lady, was a senator, was a secretary of state. My man Barack said, he said of anybody on earth, no one's more experienced than her. Like, I don't know about her moral situation and all that. People want to talk about emails and Benghazi and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna say it like this, though. I'm going to guess that those things seem very, very minuscule to those of us who have normal intelligence. Those things that everyone wanted to harp upon, I'm going to guess that they seem very, very minuscule at this point. When you got your man about to enter into a nuclear war, that dude's talking about going to Venezuela with like what? How my man won't call when he won't call terrorism when the terrorist face looked like his. He gave one of the dumbest answers to that. When the reporter asked him what did he call that, he said, "I call it what comes to the quickest verdict." What the hell does that even mean? Yeah, every time he talks, I feel like he's having these mini strokes while the words are coming out of his mouth, and then stupid stuff like that comes out, and people just kind of accept it. But like my man, look, there's a good chance that he ain't well. That dude's 72 years old. He probably halfway senile, and that's not to say that every 72-year-old is senile, but come on, man. Like, they probably wouldn't even give him the job as a greeter at the Walmart, but yet he's running the country. There's something to think about. And like the whole notion of racism in America. Let's kind of like just touch on that very quickly. That is what it is. That's what this country is. That whole notion, that whole talking point that these people are coming with, like, you know, that's not at the foundation of this country. That's exactly what's at the foundation of this country. Genocide, slavery. Yeah. That's exactly what's at the base, at the foundation of this country. And the more white people want to ignore it and keep wanting to talk about, you got to have a conversation about it. No. You need to have a conversation about it because you're the ones that need to accept that it's a part of your history. As black people, we don't need to be reminded. And I definitely don't need to. White people, don't try to school me on how I'm supposed to feel about slavery or when it's appropriate to bring up the topic of slavery or tell me that I'm still crying about slavery. Nah, that's not what's happening. I just understand that the remnants of it still exist. You know what I'm saying? It's like good Hispanic food. Like the food may be gone, but the aroma is going to linger in the air and in your clothes for a while. That's where America is. The slavery stuff is still going on, man. Like everything, like when so many things are based on that premise that you are a lesser human being than me from the jump, and it's never addressed. Like, we can talk about all this Civil War stuff and all you want to, but I challenge anyone that's listening to the sound of my voice right now. Please. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think I still have it on my phone. I'll post it to my Facebook. So I'll save you guys the trouble of going and looking it up. I'll post it to my Facebook. There are articles about how black slaves that fought for the Union, like once the war was over, how they were treated. Like, so let's not get it twisted that these people who were fighting for the North were fighting because they felt like black people were equal. or just because someone that was white felt like slavery was wrong, that doesn't equate to them saying internally that this black man or black woman or black child is equal to me and mine. No. If anybody tells you that, they're a damn lie. Black people, I don't have to tell black people this, black folks still getting treated like crap from then till now. What am I saying? Till now. You know what I mean? Like the whole notion of slavery ending. I was looking at this documentary on PBS called Slavery by Another Name. And I watched it because I thought it was going to be about mass incarceration. And it was kind of that, but it was actually about like actual slavery, about calling slavery other names, like indentured servants, or calling them apprentices, or even just people who after slavery was supposed to have been abolished were still sneaking and having slaves. And one of the historians talked about how the last slave, like slavery actually ended in like the 30s. Like the last man who was held in bondage against his will and made to work, the last black man, wasn't freed until the 30s. That wasn't that long ago, man. You know what I mean? Like when you put it into a historical context. So, I'll get to the sports stuff because I'm going to tie all this stuff into sports as well, because some things happened today. People made some comments as regards to probably the hottest button topic right now in sports, especially with the NFL season about to start. The national anthem protest that has been, thankfully revived by a couple of guys. Malcolm Jenkins, he's going to hold his fist up, but Marshawn, Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, and Michael Bennett is like, we just not standing, you know what I mean? And like, I love the level of obstinance and disrespect that they're coming with. Like Marshawn is sitting on a cooler, eating a banana with a skull cap on his head. Michael Bennett is sitting on the bench with a towel over his head. Like he's not even paying attention to it. And I'm like, yes, this is what needs to be done. This is the amount of discomfort that these fake ass patriots need to feel. Here's the other thing that I want to mention before I take this break real quick in a couple of minutes. It's astounding to me how this whole thing is going on. The Charlottesville stuff, these anti-protesters, and they white folks. I know I'm not pointing anything out to y'all, but it's hella white folks. It's like really almost no black folks out here in this whole counter protest thing. Again, that make me nervous for a gamut of different reasons. Like these white folks out here in the middle of the night snatching down Confederate statues and all that kind of stuff, and they putting it on the news, and they putting it on the news like it's all good. Like, yeah, that's how you do it. When they start talking about when Donald Trump is talking about the counter protesters were out there, throwing hands and doing stuff too. They had sticks and clubs in their hands as well. People found it real convenient to be like, yeah, but they were out there defending what was right. And while that's correct, I have to ask the question, like how much of the fact that the people who are reporting this look like the people who had the clubs, the people who were classified as the anti-protesters, they look like the girl who got ran over by the car. Like if those people, anti-protesters, they look like me, I don't know necessarily that the actions that have been taken would have been as easily accepted. Like people would have been as eager to disagree with Donald Trump on the fact that there were bad people on both sides. And again, that if anything is eliciting any type of emotion in me, and I don't know if nervousness is emotion, that's it. Because I don't want you Negroes feeling like, you know what I mean? Well, damn, it's going down. Let me get a couple of my partners and let's go down somewhere and start ripping down some statues. Don't fall for it, cuz. Don't fall for it. Do not get sucked into that bull. Because it's gonna turn out way different for your ass. As I see it. Anyway, time to take a break here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm gonna stop this damn video for you, man, because I don't know what the hell is going on, and I'm just gonna sit here and get angry if I have to keep on looking at it and trying to figure it out. So come back. We'll do On This Day. You guys can continue to send me any comments or questions or criticisms you may have. Jump on in my live interactive chat room, man. Go to Spreaker.com, or if you're listening via Spreaker or my website, click on that little thought bubble icon. It'll get you up inside the live interactive chat room, or you can tweet me, Instagram me, Facebook me at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Every year, millions of teens work to earn extra money and learn important skills. But certain jobs can jeopardize your health or well-being. So know the rules. First, the hours you can work. If you're 14 or 15, you can only work for 3 hours on a school day and for 8 hours on a non-school day. Also, if you're 14 or 15, you may not work before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m., except from June 1st through Labor Day, when you can work later, up to 9 p.m. Next, and really important, hazardous jobs. If you're under 18, jobs such as roofing, operating dangerous equipment, and most driving jobs are off limits. So work safe. For more information, call the U.S. Department of Labor's toll-free helpline at 1-866-4US-WAGE or visit youthrules.dol.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Labor.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Back here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. It is hump day. As we try to get on over the rest of this hump. Hope you guys had a good and productive day today. Hope y'all ain't let all this craziness that's going on in the country. First of all, I hope it didn't get you fired from your job for going off on one of your white coworkers for no damn reason, or even for a reason. You know what I mean? Just, keep it classy, America, I guess. I thought about it today, man. I was like, man, some of you cats gonna go to work, man, and be giving your coworkers, your white coworkers, that side eye, because these folks out here, like, you realize now, these folks out here with this alt-right situation and whatever, that they could be anybody, just so happen they dumb enough, to take their ass out here with tiki torches and lighten up their faces so everybody can see who they are. But just understand, man, like, those rednecks, those idiots ain't really the ones you got to worry about, man. It's the ones who wanted to go and couldn't go, or the ones that didn't go because they knew they'd be exposed, but they're around you every day. They want to talk about things that they think you want to talk about, but really and truly, they got your worst interest at heart. And that's the thing that I don't know how you protect against that. These cats is the cats that went down there. A lot of them getting fired from their jobs. They're getting what's the word I'm looking for? They're getting disowned by their families and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, like. People that stupid, I can't worry about them. Like, they dangerous because of their propensity to do, like, irrational things, like drive a car into a group of people and kill folks. Like, they dangerous for that reason. But for the reason that they want to consider themselves dangerous, they just got to understand this ain't the 20s, homie. Like, birds ain't running from your ass. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna get clapped messing around, especially with these young birds who don't really understand how to be, like, political in their anger. They just gonna be angry in the angriest of ways. Yeah, you gonna understand real quick. You gonna with your khakis and your Make America Great hats on. It's gonna end up bad for you if you think this is gonna be what it was at one point in time in this country. Speaking of one point in time, it's that time.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
On this day in 1870, Fred Goldsmith, he demonstrates that that the curveball thrown in baseball isn't an optical illusion. It's not. It actually moves. I remember my dad said that when I was a kid. I was watching baseball, and we saw this dude throw a curveball. He was like, "Damn, that ball moved." Yeah, it's not. It's not fake. On this day in 1954, Sports Illustrated published its first issue. On this day in 1981, the highest score in a World Cup soccer match took place. New Zealand scored 13 to Fiji 0. Damn, that's almost like 100 to nothing in like basketball or something. On this day in 2003, one of Atlanta's favorite sons, or used to be until just recently, until Cut Your Hair Gate, my man Mike Vick, he suffered a fractured right fibula in a 13-10 preseason loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody remembers the iconic photo of Arthur Blank pushing this dude around in a damn wheelchair or whatnot. On this day in 2008, this is a long one, at the Beijing Olympics, Jamaica's Usain Bolt wins the men's 100 meters in world record time of 9.69 seconds. American Michael Phelps equals Mark Spitz's 36-year-old record of winning 7 golds in one Olympic Games, winning the 100-meter butterfly. Excuse me. Zimbabwe's Christy Coventry. Excuse me. She wins the women's 200 backstroke in a world record time. And Britain's Rebecca Adlington also breaks the world record to take gold in the women's 800 freestyle. And finally, on this day in 2009, at the Athletics World Championships in Berlin, Germany, Usain Bolt of Jamaica sets a new world record in the 100-meter dash of 9.58 seconds. I wonder, like historically, now that it's over for him and we've seen the way it ends, and by the way, that is your hump day edition of On This Day, how Usain Bolt's going to be remembered, man? Are people going to, at some point forget about the recent struggles, the last 2 races, I guess it would be. I don't know how he fared in the relay, but the last 100 he did, and the last, I don't know if it was 200 that he didn't finish. Maybe it wasn't 200. Maybe it was a relay that he didn't finish. Either way, the fact that he didn't go out in a blaze of glory and with the same type of dominance that he had experienced throughout his whole career. I just wonder how history is going to remember. I'm going to always remember him the same way like I remember like Michael Johnson. I remember Michael Johnson trying to race. I forget who he was racing, but they tried to run a 150, and the kid was from Canada. I can't remember his name, but he was smoking him. Donovan Bailey, I think his name was, smoking him, and then Mike Johnson pulled up with the hamstring situation or whatever. I remember that, but I also remember the gold shoes at the Olympics. I remember those world record times at the Olympics here in Atlanta in '96 as well. The dominance that he displayed in track and field as well. So I think that is going to be the same for me with Usain Bolt, especially since I didn't see him actually, not finish those races. I didn't really see him. I saw the highlights of him not winning the 100 or finishing third in the 100, but it wasn't like it was at the Olympics or anything like the Mike Johnson situation where it was like this big build up type event or whatever. All right. So anyway, start the show off, kind of setting the foundation for the show, talking about Comrade Trump yesterday and his one of the most beautifully stupid things that I've ever witnessed. And I was so glad to actually watch it happen. It was like watching the Hindenburg burn down. It happened so slowly, and like pieces were flying everywhere, and like there was like debris, and it was like so terribly beautiful to the point, like even when my man was done, he was like, all right, thank you, everybody, walked away. That dude still kept answering questions. I was like waiting for somebody to just like tackle his ass from the back and just tell him to shut the hell up. And it didn't happen. He just kept like, yeah, let me show you even more so how stupid I am. And everybody seemed, well, most people seem to have gotten the memo or gotten the picture that your man's a bumbling, fumbling idiot. And then you have the ones who just can't let it go, man. That just, for whatever reason, man, if it's just a matter of being wrong about somebody and they don't want to admit it, or if it's just that they're as stupid as he is, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not about to try to give nobody the benefit of the doubt. In other racism news, this was also hilarious as hell. Apparently, ESPN thought it would be a good idea to start auctioning off black dudes yesterday, to start selling black people again in this country. They had like this fantasy football marathon, and as a part of it, They did an auction, and it was aesthetically so awesomely stupid again that no one saw this, like previewed this in their minds and said, maybe this isn't a thing that should be done. Where they're holding up pictures of like Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr. and they got this white auctioneer doing, hey, doing that whole thing. And then they got a gallery of all white people. It looked just like that scene. If you saw Get Out, it looked just like that scene in Get Out. And they were selling my man. They were trying to sell my man off while he was in the woods doing whatever it was he was doing. It looked just like that. And yeah, people like the internet got into it. Like Odell was like, I'm speechless. I think Kevin Durant was like, trash. That's trash. ESPN, of course, they did what you do in 2017. The new era thing to do. You do something consciously, and you do it stupidly. Like I heard like Michael Smith and Jamel Hill on TV before I got started the show, and I understand their position. That's their employer, and they know those people, and they don't want to believe that those people are that. But this is what I'm talking about. Like it's not the neo-Nazi racism. That's the thing. It's the fact that something like this just goes. If you're oblivious to that, and again, I'm not the I'm offended type person. You know what I mean? Like I call stupidity for what it is. Now this is stupid, but it's not like gonna change my world. I'm not offended. I'm not boycotting ESPN. I mean, I halfway do anyway. But I'm not making a stand against ESPN because somebody was stupid enough or somebody was oblivious enough to think, you know what? I think this will fly. I think this will go in a league where, we're talking 70%. And then when you're talking about like the top fantasy guys, maybe Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady would be the white ones in that circle. But you got a long way to go before you get there. You got to go through Antonio Brown. You got to go through the kid in the Johnson kid in Arizona. You got to go through Le'Veon Bell. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through Julio. You got to go through Odell Beckham Jr. You got to go through a bunch of cats before you get to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. When you talk, fantasy wise, Devontae Freeman, all these dudes, man. It's like at this point, you mean tell me no one? Because I got to believe that they rehearsed it. It wasn't like off the cuff. And at no point did no one look around and was like, man, this looks really awkward. It's all these white people. And this one white dude is holding up pictures of black dudes. And they're buying them. But when you white and you don't have a historical context, or these things aren't made to be front of mind for you the way they are for black people, those things you can go through life ignoring that those things even matter. And that's to me all you saw with that whole ESPN stupid ass skit. Their apology goes like this: auction drafts are a common part of fantasy football. I don't know that to be true. I've only played fantasy football in one way. Just you get a bunch of people, draft the players, and then you go. Auctioning, I've never done the auction thing. I did hear Michael Smith on SportsCenter, or the Six, or whatever they want to call it. He's a fantasy person. He said, no, it don't even go like that. That's not even the way it goes. Like, that was done the way it was done to be done that way. So anyway, the apology continues. An ESPN segments replicated an auction draft with a diverse slate of top professional football players. Nope, you're not going to soften that. Without that context, we understand the optics could be portrayed as offensive, and we apologize. Like, I don't know. I don't really do apologies myself, but in the grand scheme of apologies, that doesn't really seem like anything worth. That doesn't really seem like we're sorry for doing this. That's one of those, well, I mean, if we offended you, and it starts off with making the excuse that, or putting the caveat on it that, but it was a diverse group of people. Come on, man. Just at some, you gotta just eat it. At that point, you just gotta eat it and be like, look, man, we dropped the ball on this, man. This was a terrible decision all the way around. You know what I mean? I'm not the dude. I'm sure people are threw their hands and was like, somebody needs to get fired for that. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if if that's the situation, but I feel the same way about those people or that person as, let's say, I would feel about like people talking about like gay people, gay guys in sports or in the NFL or the NBA, right? That the numbers are just going to bear it out. Like if one out of every, I don't know how many person is a white supremacist, or one out of every certain person is gay. Well, you got to assume that there's gay people in professional locker rooms. The same way you got to believe that there's, white people who hate black people working at ESPN or wherever. You know what I mean? It's just real deal. And they're not all walking around with tiki torches on Vice Land so you can see their faces. They sitting right there in the damn break room with your ass eating a cheese sandwich and hating you for the color of your skin. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm kind of on one with all this kind of stuff, man. Like I'm already not a very trusting person. Like I don't trust people that much, but like in situations like this, like it goes up kind of another notch with me, where like I don't believe nothing people say. If your actions show me otherwise, as far as, what I'm saying, like, like I say, John Knight, what's the boy's name? Mike Pence and the other dude, Jeff Sessions, and all these cats. Yeah, I'm good, man. Like when these folks stop trying to send people to gay conversion camps and, get off the whole thing about, the marijuana laws enforcing or getting stronger on marijuana laws, mandatory minimums, things of that nature. Till those things change, you can tell me what you want to. You can tell me how bad the KKK is all you want to. As far as I know, you got your membership card. Like your man pulled his out yesterday. your man D Trump pulled his out and was like, bam, there I am, member since 1920. He got it passed on from his pops and his granddad. So anyway, let's get into the sports side of this commentary. So we all know, we talked about it on Monday, right? That my man Michael Bennett, Martellus's brother, and Marshawn Lynch decided to kind of pick up the torch, man. The torch that was left for him by Colin Kaepernick, and they decided to, in the light of Comrade Trump and the Charlottesville stuff, the tragedies that happened in Charlottesville, it was like, look, I'm done with this whole American flag national anthem situation. It's a wrap for me. Well, what happens? What has ensued is much more, is a continuation of what happened last year with Colin Kaepernick. Everybody's got a damn opinion on the protest, but not really much of one on the why the protest is happening. First up, former NFL tight end Jermichael Finley. And I know, like, understand this. I'm not the you coonin and coon. I'm not that dude, man. It's like, cats have their reasons for feeling like they feel. And in the history of black people, there has always been there's always been a segment of black people who have felt it more comfortable to empathize with the oppressors. You know what I mean? And not hold them accountable. Jermichael Finley says, quote, athletes are looked up to and serve as ROLL models. Leave personal opinions about race and politics alone. Do what you get paid to do and play, end quote. All right. My man, Martellus Bennett, or is this Martellus or Michael? I'm sorry. Yeah, Martellus Bennett. He said, what role are you modeling? And like, I think that's probably my bigger issue. Like, I don't expect people to do certain things. I don't place expectations on people based on their race, based on their position in life, based on their economic status. I don't place expectations on people. But when you do speak with some sort of intelligence and some sort of wherewithal. You know what I mean? Because in one breath, you're saying, Jermichael Finley saying that athletes are role models, but you need to shut up and just play. What is he talking about? Like, as far as Michael Bennett, he's been very articulate before now in talking about legacy leaving behind more than just the impression of a football player on life. Understanding that, every kid that looks like him isn't going to have his athletic ability, but some may be artsy, or some may be musically inclined. Some may just be smart, just in general. And he wants to put together initiatives to harness those things within the black community, within black youth. So to say that for Jermichael Finley to then focus on the not standing for the national anthem and saying that it's inappropriate because of what you do for a living, that's where the ridiculousness comes in. Now I see that's where people start hollering out, he's on the coon train, he's coon this or whatever. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? That's where y'all want to go with it. And then he goes and kind of goes a step further with, I guess, a statement of disbelief of the authenticity of what they're doing. He says, but is it for selfish reasons, marketing, or is it for real? All caps, that they care, end quote. How do you do that in this situation? Like, still right now with Colin Kaepernick losing everything that he's lost at this point, or having been able to gain employment in the NFL, how can you then say, still with him continuing to do the work though, how can you still say that, or even intimate that it's not authentic and it's not for real? It's just a bad look, man. It is like stuff like that is just, you don't have to say stuff. You know what I mean? If it's not you, if it's not your bag, you don't even have to comment on it. If it's not what you do. You dig what I'm saying? And here's the other thing that I found peculiar about this, and I went to look, and maybe it's just the N-word in me that made me do this. When you start finding out people, and I do this online too. When like people come at me with this kind of stuff online, and it's black people, I start looking through their photos, and I want to see who they associate with. If they have like a circle of white people, or if they're married to a white woman, because then it starts to come into focus a little bit more, where you're trying to adhere to the comfort level of the people who don't look like you in your circle, because white people have a propensity at times to get nervous when black people start talking about race, or when black people start to hold a mirror in the face of white people and say, look, you're part of the problem. The fact that you feel like you can ignore the things that are going on around you each and every day, it makes you as much of the problem as Donald Trump. Because at least with Donald Trump, you know where it's at. At least with these neo-Nazis, you know where it's at. And you know how to combat it right now. But with somebody who's acting like they on your side and acting like they got your back, but they really just comfortable with their privilege and where their lot is in life, to me, that's even more dangerous, if not just as dangerous. Let's go to the chat room real quick. My man I Am Nodos is in the chat room. You guys can join him if you're listening via Spreaker, the website, or my website. You just click on that little thought bubble icon that you see on the screen, or on the streaming player, excuse me. You can get up in this live interactive chat room. He says, I should check out his post from earlier on. Basically, the NFL promotes their athletes being role models, but we see not for the racist system. Yeah, of course. Because let's go on to the next person now. The next person, Coach Hugh Jackson of the Cleveland Browns. He, another person, I looked him up too. He's married to a white woman, right? And his situation is just as I Am No Dose is describing. And it's as he's described. But let me tell you what he said first. Quote, I think everybody has the right to do, and I get it. But the national anthem means a lot to myself personally. Why don't people just say me? It means a lot to me personally. Like they think that makes them sound more educated when they say myself personally. The organization and our football team. I hope, again, I speak, but again, I can't speak. I haven't really talked to our team. I would hope that we don't have any of those issues. Just that verbiage. How is it an issue? It's something that happens 5 or 10 minutes before the kickoff even happens. How is that an issue that would affect what happens on the football field. He goes and talk about how they're worried about winning football games, as though football players can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. They can't care about social injustice and go out on the football field and concuss themselves and everyone else as effectively. He goes on to say, quote, I understand there's a lot going on in the world. I like to just keep it here. What we deal with, we try to deal with as a team in our closed environment. We talk about things. Hopefully that won't happen. I can tell you I can't tell you it won't happen, but I just know our guys, and I don't think that is where our focus is. We hope that things are going. We hope the things that are going on in this world get ironed out. What the hell is he talking about? Like, how is that a thing? How's that even a thing? That you hope the things that are like racism, the thing that's been going on for hundreds of years, I just hope it gets ironed out some kind of way. It'll happen. It's like, my man, come on, man. Like, do these people think before words come out of their mouth? I know people probably say that about me a lot, but I'm not saying this. I just hope these white people just start treating black people like human beings. Yeah, you keep doing that. It'll be another 400 years. You know what I mean? He said, but I know right now we're doing everything we can do to get our football team better. All right, man. And here's where things get murky for old Hugh, right? Because as Hugh hopes that these issues of race and things like that don't come into the fold, well, Hugh has no problem speaking about human trafficking, which is a terrible thing, right? But he and his foundation, they have no problem being publicly outspoken. Him and his wife. Look it up. You can Google it. They all up in the Cleveland Browns locker room. They not just writing letters or doing these anonymous things. He's using the platform that he has as an NFL coach to bring awareness to a terrible issue, which is human trafficking. But like I Am No Dose is saying, those things are fine. As long as you're not talking about the human trafficking of black people a couple hundred years ago, as long as you're not doing that, everything's good. And the last person before we take a break is former NFL legend, and I didn't look up his spouse. I forgot to do this, or his significant other. And I don't know if that even makes a difference, but it's just me being me. The other person who had something to say about this whole situation is former Heisman Trophy winner, Hall of Famer, Oakland Raiders great, Tim Brown. TMZ asked Tim Brown about, Marshawn Lynch not standing. He says, "Why, man? Like, if you black and you got to ask why, I got an issue with that. You're asking why? This is 2 years. This is 2 years and going. How you still asking why, bruh?" He said, "Why bring this to yourself? He has the perfect thing going on in Oakland. Why bring negativity to this incredible positive situation? I don't get it. I understand these guys, man. They're trying to make statements and they're trying to be a part of the world. But football is where people go to get away from that stuff." Says who? Says who? Every game, they start the game off playing the national anthem and flying over with B-12 bombers. And how you getting people away from that? Every game before it starts, you're reminded that this is America with big ass 90-yard long flags. Every October, these folks got to put on pink for breast cancer. Again, very worthy cause. But no one's saying that about that. No one's saying anything about, well, people come to football games to get away from terrible things like cancer. They don't want to be reminded of that. Well, here's the thing. Racism is a cancer to America. And you ain't got to wear a special color. Well, probably. It's called black skin. You wear that color, you realize it very quickly. It's just amazing to me, man. Like I say, I don't have no problem with dudes just saying, this ain't my thing. But when you come down on somebody else This is Marshawn Lynch's thing to risk. If he wants to risk it the way Colin Kaepernick wanted to risk it, Michael Bennett wants to risk it, that's on them. And instead of applauding them, you kowtow to a situation, to an organization in the NFL that shines an unfavorable light on these things. Speaking of the NFL, I'm going to take a break and come back and talk about Roger Goodell and what he had to say about the whole anthem protest situation. Don't forget the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League, man. Send me your emails to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com or go to the website, to the contact page, and send me an email from there. Put fantasy football in the subject line so you can get into this fantasy football league. I got like 6 slots left, so they filling up fast. Get yours right now. It's One Mic with Big Mike, man. Spreaker.com, Spreaker app, tune in, and One Mic with Big Mike.com. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yeah, man, we're officially over the hump, man, here on a Wednesday. On the One Mic with Big Mike show, coming at you live on Spreaker.com. The Spreaker app as well for all your mobile devices, so make sure you head on over to your app store if you don't already have it. Tell a friend, man. Tell your people, man, I'm here. Talking that real-ish. I'm also on TuneIn and onemicwithbigmike.com. If you didn't get a chance to catch up on the entire show or on the previous portions of the show, you can always catch me on demand on all the platforms I've already mentioned, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Make sure you like the Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. If you want to get involved in the show, my live and interactive chat room is wide open for you. All you got to do, if you're listening via Spreaker or my website, click on that little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player. It'll get you right up inside the live interactive chat room where you guys can share your thoughts. You can ask your questions. You can give your critiques. All of those things. Be a part of the community, I guess I should say. And if you just, if you're just a listener, just want to listen, that's fine as well. I find that when I look at my numbers after the fact, that most of you folks are just listening. You don't want to participate. And maybe that's me. Maybe I don't solicit comments properly or the way I should. But understand, this is just having a conversation. This is an open conversation. If at any point you want to interject, you want to, come with something, don't wait for me to ask you. You know what I mean? I'm not that dude. I'm not a bad Facebook post. You know what I mean? Which one of these 3 athletes do you choose? That's not my bag. I'm going to talk. I'm going to have what turns out to be a monologue that can turn into a dialogue if you guys interject, if you guys want to come with some thoughts or whatnot. All right, so we're talking again today. We're talking racism. We're talking anthem protests. We're talking the reaction to those things as well. Where did I leave off? I left off talking about Jermichael Finley, Hugh Jackson, Tim Brown's comments on what's going on with the protests. I wanted to move on to a couple of things. First off, I wanted to move on to Roger Goodell. He did a Q&A thing at University of Phoenix Stadium. He did it in Arizona. And he was asked a question about the anthem protests. He said Monday that he said, quote, "It's one of those things where I think we have to understand that there are people that have different viewpoints. The national anthem has a special moment to me, or is a special moment to me. It's a point of pride, but we also have to understand the other side, that people do have rights, and we want to respect those." I want to point something else out too, because that just made me think of something. This notion that I've decided that there must be 2 constitutions. There must be like one for white people and then one for everybody else. You know what I mean? Because the one that they keep telling me about that applies to me and people who look like me, it has "but" at the end of all of the amendments. Like, you have the right to protest, but you can't do it here, or you got to do it this way, or there's a better way to do it, or I'm just not comfortable with how you doing it. There's all these buts at the end of the rights that white people feel like they can just bestow upon people who don't look like them. And it's weird. It's weird. The question was asked by one of the fans that attended this Q&A, right? Roger Goodell goes on to talk about this concept of, quote, protest to progress. He says that's what I call it. And we all have to recognize that if we want to see change, let's go out and try to make that change happen in a peaceful and important way. I feel like that's what Colin Kaepernick was doing. He was doing it very peaceful. He was doing it very importantly, and he still got blackballed. I'm saying it in the past tense because I still don't believe he'll play another down in the NFL. Thad Lewis got a job, man. Shout to Thad Lewis, but he hadn't taken a snap in 2 years. So if that guy bolts his way up to the top, and we don't even have to talk about just Thad Lewis, because I don't know what Thad Lewis money looking like, and I don't know what the market is money-wise for Colin Kaepernick. But I do know this. I do know E.J. Manuel has a gig. I do know Geno Smith has a gig. I do know Jay Cutler was brought back from the booth. And I said it before, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, that I understand why. I understand the familiarity between he and Adam Gase. But what I don't understand is how in the hell you say, okay, Mike, I know you understand Jay Cutler, but I'm going to push it a step further. And I'm going to invoke Christian Ponder's name and Tim Tebow's name. That's disrespectful. I mean, like, that lets me know that what I said, that you all should just believe. Colin Kaepernick is done playing football, B. So anybody who wants to protest until that man gets a gig, you done watching football. You're done watching football then, because it's not happening. The writing is on the wall and has been for a while, but now it's just clear. This dude just hit a home run. Aaron Judge, God damn, that dude is like a monster. Look at this dude. He needs some damn football. He needs some damn shoulder pads on, B. Golly. He's one of the guys who got it right. Like, you know how the steroid people say, all you got to do is do the right dosing and you won't get caught? Yeah, see, he's that guy. He won't get caught. Because A-Rod never got caught. Neither did Barry Bonds. They did the dosing right. Just, certain things. What's it called? What's it called? The evidence. I can't remember what the term is. Anyway, Back to the chat room. I've never known a good protest for black people. Yeah, of course. There's never one. Meanwhile, here's a great point. Here's a great counterpoint. Not even a counterpoint, a point to attach to that statement. You ever notice how in the world, like the history of the world, right? There's this notion that black people, when they get upset or when we want things to change, we have to do so in a docile manner. And we have to do so in a peaceful manner. And we got to do so in this organized manner. Meanwhile, when white boys want things to change, they go bomb things. Oh, we want some more. Oh, we want oil and we want to take over Iraq. Let's go bomb it. We want to start a new country. Let's go. We want to keep slavery. Let's go. Like they're never expected to be peaceful when they want things to change. But for black folks, y'all calm down. We'll tell you when we're ready. And that's the history of America. For all the protests, for all the fighting, for all this stuff, things don't change in this country, man, until white people get ready for them to. You show me a time and I'll entertain it, but I haven't seen one. Things don't, along the lines of race, they don't change, man, until white people get ready for them to change. They run this country. And if you need any further proof of what I'm saying being true, look at the White House. Look at it right now. You tell me how that dude got there. It wasn't your black ass. It definitely wasn't me, but he's there. You know what I mean? What was it? Like 3 million human beings voted for the other person. But they found a way to rig the system that was put in place to make slave owners feel more comfortable about their position in the country. The Electoral College. And they found a way to rig it, to gerrymander it, voter suppression, all these things in these key places. To where now y'all left to deal with that. Whatever that thing is. That man child of a human car wreck. You're left to deal with that. The guy's name, by the way, who was asking these questions, his last name is Olsen, and Bruce Olsen. It was the guy asking Roger Goodell these questions. And after Roger Goodell gave his answer, the answer that I just read to you guys, here was his response. He said the commissioner, quote, beat around the bush. Here's his beautifully articulated statement. This guy, this season ticket holder. Quote, the thing is, all he, talking about Marshawn Lynch, has to do is stand up for 2 minutes. And all he can, and he can still have whatever beliefs he wants, go with what looks good for the game and to the people. He, speaking of Roger Goodell, makes rules. And you do this, you do that. Why can't he just say, you stand up? You can believe what you want or do what you want. Just stand up like a man. So now we're attacking people's manhood for exercising an American right. See, that's that but at the end of that right. You got the right to, but you black. So, you got to read the fine print on this one. It's so ridiculous, man. Shout out to Doug Baldwin, man. Doug Baldwin, I've been on a couple of different sides on Doug Baldwin's take on this whole thing, but he's someone who I've seen speak on the matter, and I don't feel like I have to agree with everything someone says. I'm not a member of the groupthink posse. You know what I mean? I think I believe what I do. I believe what I believe, and I feel what I feel. And this particular point that Doug Baldwin makes, and speaking of his teammate Michael Bennett, is a good one. He talks about the antics of the fans who swear they so damn patriotic, but he's able to recognize what the hell's really going on while that song is playing and while people are on that field waving that damn flag. He says, talking about Michael Bennett, he says he's taking a reasonable and peaceful approach to something that, I don't know who doesn't think is a valiantly important is valiantly important to our society and the health and wellness of our communities. But yet, we're not talking about the people who were in the stands drunk during the national anthem. Yep, talking about you, Jeb. With their hats still on, yelling at players, cussing during the national anthem. We're not talking about that. I know you guys are reporters and you guys got to make a story of something, but I just think we're taking it too far. Exactly. Because you've heard people cussing at Colin Kaepernick while he sat for the national anthem. While he was playing. Not a word. Not a word about being unpatriotic. Because they couldn't wait 2 minutes to cuss at the dude. They had to do it while the song was playing. Like, no one cares, man. Like, people don't really care until they have to care about something real. Until you have to be faced with the fact that what am I, 3 times likely as a black man to be killed by the police than a white person? Although I'm only made up of 13% of the population. Those numbers don't match up, man. That math ain't good math. Not for me in my life. But I guess, you know, in so many instances when it's not you, you know, empathy is not something that, especially when it comes to race, empathy is not something that that flows freely. And then I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Des Bryant, because this is something that, as black people, we got to get out of the mindset of this groupthink mentality where if someone who looks like you doesn't do what you expect them to do or say what you expect them to say or think the way you expect them to think, that they're automatically wrong. There are situations, and I brought those situations up early for this particular reason, in Jermichael Finley and Tim Brown. Yeah, those things are fundamentally ignorant and borderline stupid. In the case of Des Bryant, though, I don't know if you guys saw him when he was asked about the protest. He's like, I don't want to talk about that. He ended up tweeting that I care about black people, but I got a family to feed. And people want to call him a coward. I think that's honest, man. I think that statement, based on the action of most players in the NFL, there's 1,500 players in the NFL. There's 70% of them that are black. And we talk about 2 that are taking, well, 3. Let's call Malcolm Jenkins the third one, who's taking a stand in this arena. So we're talking, what's 70% of 1,500? Like 1,000, give or take. We're talking 3 people out of 1,000 players, and sprinkling some coaches that aren't saying anything about what's going on in the country, or race relations wise. And if we're talking about the NFL, I think Des Bryant's fear is a fear that is valid amongst more players than him, understanding that they saw what happened to Colin Kaepernick. And somebody came at me today on Facebook and saying, like, but that's not his fear. He's secure. And I was like, my man, have you ever heard of an NFL contract? Who is secure in an NFL contract? Definitely not Des Bryant. And here's why. And let's talk the football side of these things. Des Bryant, he's in, I think now, the 3rd year of that deal that he and Bebe them just signed. Remember, they signed that deal together, which means after this year, they probably going to be talking to him about renegotiating. One, because his production is on a downslope, right? And it's not going to get better because the team's mentality is now, they don't have Tony Romo anymore, a guy who will throw the ball down the field and do a lot of those things that and take advantage of Des Bryant's skill set. They're on a run-first team. I don't care if Ezekiel Elliott is hurt or not hurt, is suspended for the first 6 games. Doesn't matter. The mentality of the team is the mentality of the team, because that offensive line is built the way it's built. So his production is probably going to go down a little bit more. Cole Beasley is on the way up as far as a slot receiver, and that's a much easier ball to complete if you're a Dak Prescott. So his production is going to go down a little bit. So the last thing Des Bryant needs to do going into this year, in which he'll probably be called to renegotiate or something when the year is over, or just be cut. He's going to want to get another job with another team if that is to happen. And the one thing that he doesn't want to happen, and what I'm hearing in his comments, he doesn't want something like a protest inhibiting that, or prohibiting that, excuse me. And again, like knowing who we're talking about a dude who came up with nothing. And a lot of times you find when cats come up from nothing, they want to hold on to it, man. And it's far be it for me, man, to tell somebody what they should risk for the benefit of someone else just because of the race that they're a part of. I can't do that. I can't with good conscience expect someone to do that. I respect his honesty, though. I respect the honesty that he said, like, look, I care, man, but I don't care enough to risk it all. Colin Kaepernick did. Michael Bennett did. I heard Michael Bennett say, even though he just signed a 3-year extension, $30 million, that even if it wasn't for the extension and the perceived security and the fact that he plays for Pete Carroll in Seattle, they're a lot more liberal in that area of the country as well. He said it wouldn't matter. The money wouldn't matter. I have no choice but to believe him. You know what I'm saying? With Marshawn, I talked about this on Monday, that Marshawn understands the position that he's in. He's there not only to play running back, because no one knows what they're going to get from Marshawn Lynch. He was hurt the last time you saw him, and then last year he didn't play at all. He was globetrotting and having a good-ass time. If you want to see Marshawn Lynch videos, YouTube those joints. My man was everywhere having a good, riding camels, riding bikes around London, throwing Skittles at people. He's having a monster good time. And now he's back playing football. Like, who knows what you're going to get from him? What the Oakland Raiders know is they got a hometown kid that hopefully people will still come to the stadium to see in the midst of them, like, getting out of town and going to Vegas. It's a PR thing. So while they're doing that and he's giving them what they want, he's going to take advantage of the platform to say, you're not going to just do this dude wrong. I think, and if I'm be honest, I want to think that part of Marshawn Lynch's protest has to do with what's happening with Colin Kaepernick as well. Now, of course, he don't speak, but just from what you know of Marshawn Lynch, it would seem like part of that is in the mix. Where it's like, yeah, dog, y'all ain't just gonna do this dude like that. You know, you use me, I'll use you. So, you know, in the case of Des Bryant, I think he speaks what he's saying, speaks for a lot of people, a lot of players in the NFL. And like the thing that tells people that knee-jerk thing and that reflex that tells you to attack the man, the player, right? But not the system that is making that player, because that's a form of oppression. The fact that he works somewhere in which he has to feel like, if I have an opinion, it could cost me everything. Or if I have the wrong, not if I have an opinion, sorry, I need to rephrase that. If I have the wrong opinion, it could cost me everything. That's a systematic issue, man. That's not a problem with Des Bryant. He should feel comfortable. He should feel as comfortable as LeBron James did last night, saying what he said and calling President Trump the so-called president. Did I just call him President Trump? I did. That was Freudian. Calling Comrade Trump the so-called president. Those things should be acceptable because last time I checked, this is still supposed to be America, a free democracy, where you can speak your mind, whether or not it opposes something that somebody else believes. But again, as a black person in this country, so many times your rights, they end with but. I got a couple minutes left. I'm going to end the show. I did have some stuff on like Kyrie and LeBron, but I think that situation will continue to move forward. Some little funny things that I wanted to mention as well, Tiger Woods, all that, but I can get into that stuff. I can move it on till Friday. I'm going to end on Ezekiel Elliott though, and what's happening with him. He has filed his appeal. The first thing I want to say about the Ezekiel Elliott situation that is really a bad look, is a terrible look, and if you think this doesn't have anything to do with race, you're sadly mistaken as well. The fact that this young lady, Tara Thompson, or whatever her name is, Thompson, she continues to be referred to in so many circles as his victim. No, she's not a victim because the NFL suspended him. That's not a thing. She is his accuser. No one, there's no concrete proof. The NFL doesn't have any subpoena powers, so they can't subpoena witnesses. They can't There's no penalty of perjury if you lie to the NFL. None of those things exist, which is why I call into question every time, not just this time, their investigation. The other thing that's happening is now there's this war of words between them and the NFLPA as to how Ezekiel Elliott is proceeding with his appeal, the strategy that he's going to employ or implore. Is that the word I'm looking for? In his defense, he's going to say that she targeted him and she tried to extort him, and that he has proof of all these things. Via Ian Rappaport, Elliott filed a complaint with Frisco, Texas authorities on September 5th, alleging harassment against Thompson. Elliott claimed that he received 50-plus phone calls from Thompson in a span of less than 7 hours, including multiple calls from a blocked number, meaning she just kept calling him. She hacked his situation, trying to get numbers of girls that he was, quote-unquote, messing with. The NFL seems to think that it's a bad thing that he is going after her character as a person. But I think, and what they're saying is, if I can find this damn this article to find the exact wording before I get out of here for the day. What they're saying is that it's some sort of how do I want to say this, man? Like a tactic that's used for accusers against their or the accusee against their accusers when it comes to defending themselves. The appeal is going to be heard on August 29th, the week of August 29th. Joe Lockhart, the NFL's executive vice president of communications, accused the NFLPA of spreading derogatory information about Thompson. Here's what he said. Over the past few days, we received multiple reports of the NFLPA spreading derogatory information to the media about the victim, in Ezekiel Elliott's discipline case. It's common tactic to attempt to prove the innocence of the accused by discrediting the victim, again, in this case, Ms. Thompson. When coming forward to report such abuse, common or not, these tactics are shameful. Efforts to shame or blame the victim are often what prevent people from coming forward to report violence and seek help in the first place. Okay, first of all, from what I've read, he's not blaming her. He's not saying, well, if she wasn't so drunk or if her skirt wasn't so short, he's not doing that. He's saying she is lying. That's a different story. You know what I'm saying? And if you have proof of somebody's history of being a liar in a case where it's your word against theirs, what are you supposed to use in order to clear your name? They're accusing this dude of being a woman beater. Again, I'm not defending him. I'm not on his side. I'm not on her side. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And from what I've read, I don't think the NFL knows what happened. They just need a win in this category. And what better way to do it than the guy who plays for the most popular team in the NFL with the most boisterous owner? You know, they did it with Tom Brady, the most accomplished quarterback in NFL history. Roger Goodell's trying to get wins because every time before now, he and the league have looked like bumbling idiots in the Bountygate situation, the Spygate situation, the Deflategate situation. They look like bumbling, stupid, fool idiots. Ray Rice, all this stuff. And now, in a case in which it is, he said, she said, they're calling this kid not only a woman beater, but now a victim blamer. But that's not what he's doing. He's saying, look at all the times that this girl has lied. Look at all the times that she said, I'm going to ruin your career. Look at all the times that she's tried to get people to lie for her and say that I've done things to her. This is her resume. This is her track record. And this is the person who is key to you taking away my money for 6 weeks, for 6 games. What else is he supposed to do to defend himself? It would be my question. Now, of course, like even if she did send the text messages that he's talking about, right? It doesn't mean that he didn't beat her, but it also doesn't mean that he did. And that's the gray area in all this. It's not a situation where you have like DNA evidence. And by the way, they have reports and all these things. And per Mike Florio, they're refusing to give them up. Like the information. Remember I said this before the suspension even came down. I said, if they suspend this dude, they need to be prepared to publish and put out the evidence that they used in order to suspend this dude. And I guess maybe it's a matter of him now appealing that they won't put that out yet. I'm saying quote unquote yet. But at some point, you can't just be like, yeah, win for us. Nah. Lastly, the NFLPA, of course, they fired back and released their own statement, right? The public statement issued on behalf of every NFL owner is a lie. The NFL, not Jerry Jones ain't a part of this. The NFLPA categorically denies the accusations made in this statement. We know the league office has the history of being exposed for its lack of credibility. This is another example of the NFL's hypocrisy on display and an attempt to create a sideshow to distract from their own failings in dealing with such serious issues. They should be ashamed for stooping so low. And these are the first shots being fired in this Ezekiel Elliots domestic abuse case, man. It's going to probably head the way of Tom Brady. And who knows how it ends up, man, because the NFL, they got lawyers on top of lawyers on top of lawyers. The PA said they're going to pay for Ezekiel Elliott's lawyers if in fact he just doesn't want his own counsel. But if he wants theirs, they'll pay for it. And we'll see where it goes, man. Like I say, I don't know, but I do feel this way. The way I felt about Jameis Winston, the way I felt about Ben Roethlisberger, about any of these guys that end up catching these cases, that if these things happen, they should be prosecuted by the law. And I mean, the law should have a say in this. And in the case of Ezekiel Elliott, he wasn't even arrested, much less charges being brought. And I think that should stand for something. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, Roger Goodell is just like, he's on his NWA stuff, like F the police. And if that's the case, I guess, my man, I join the club in that case. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, man. A little abbreviated episode, the Hump Day edition of the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate you guys for joining me. I'm sorry again. I don't do apologies well, but I feel like I need to make one because the video stream conked out on me after I thought I had it, on and popping, and it didn't work out. But again, I'll make the effort, man. I'll make the effort again on Friday to see if we can get it going and see if I can figure some things out. If you didn't get a chance to check out the entire show, go to Spreaker.com, man, SPREAKER.com. Download the app from all your mobile devices or for all your mobile devices, and follow my show. Follow me on Spreaker, man. The number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, One Mic with Big Mike. Also follow me on TuneIn. Subscribe to my iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course my YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE. And also, join my fantasy football league. I got a couple slots left, and I want to play fantasy football with you guys, man. Send me an email to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line. You can also go to my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Go to the contact page and send me the email from there. Same deal. Put fantasy football in the subject line. I'll send you out the link to where you can sign up as well. I'll come back, try to do it better on Friday, man. Until then, you guys be safe, man. These streets is crazy right now. So y'all be safe. And remember, all you need is one mic.